10 years, my professor husband, Daniel Whitmore, and I loved each other deeply, treating each other with respect and care. Our only regret was that he had a zoospermia, so we were never able to have a child. Then, on our 10th wedding anniversary, the housekeeper, Megan Wright, suddenly claimed she was pregnant with Daniel's child. I thought she was joking. 2 days later, she threw a paternity test result in my face. The test proved that the child she was carrying was Daniel's. Megan sued us. On the day of the hearing, she cried in front of the courthouse, telling the media how Daniel had molested her. She said we were a pair of perverts who treated her like a breeding machine and kept her confined in our home. Daniel and I couldn't defend ourselves at all. The netizens labeled us demon employers and nailed us to a pillar of shame. Daniel lost his job at the university, and his students were ashamed of him. I was fired from my company that same day. In the end, Daniel couldn't withstand the pressure of public opinion and committed suicide in prison. I became a rat on the streets, hunted down and beaten by netizens. Driven insane, I wandered into traffic and died miserably in the middle of the road. Even at death, I couldn't understand how Megan had become pregnant with the child of my husband, who had a zoospermia. When I opened my eyes again, I had been reborn to the day before Megan claimed she was pregnant with Daniel's child. Ma'am, it's yours and sir's 10th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Are you celebrating at home or going out? The familiar voice sounded beside my ear. I snapped my eyes open. A plain, honest-looking face filled my vision. Megan Wright bent slightly at the waist, smiling warmly at me. At that moment, my heart was pounding violently like a heavy drum striking my chest. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to suppress the surge of emotion inside me. With effort, I tugged at the corner of my mouth and barely managed to smile. Tomorrow, we're going out to eat. You don't need to worry about anything. Megan seemed very satisfied with my answer. All right, ma'am. Then I'll go organize the walk-in closet. I nodded, watching her retreating figure as she walked away, my thoughts sinking into deep contemplation. At this very moment, I was absolutely certain of one thing. I, Vivian Whitmore, had been reborn. Thinking about what Megan had just said, I picked up my phone and checked the date. It was May 17th, the last peaceful day of my life. Almost at the same time, I logged into my social media account. I had a few dozen followers and barely any comments. At a glance, it looked like nothing more than an ordinary account. However, I knew that if events followed the trajectory of my previous life, by this time tomorrow, my social media would become a battlefield of cyberviolence. Devil employers, how can someone like this actually be a professor? He should be dragged out and executed. The man is a rapist and the woman isn't any better. Rotten trash, go to hell. You disgusting thing. A disgrace to women. If I were you, I'd kill myself right now to atone. Are you that vile? You can't have children so you harm other women? Are you even human? Those comments were like sharp knives, carving into me until I was flayed alive. At the thought of it, I immediately deleted everything on the account and then deactivated it entirely. Then another thought surfaced. What difference would that make? What was coming would still come. Even though I had been reborn, tomorrow Megan would still go online under her real name and accuse Daniel of raping her. And more than that, what exactly was going on with the child in her belly? No matter what, since heaven had given me a second chance at life, I absolutely could not allow the tragedy of my previous life to repeat itself. I returned to the bedroom and began ordering small home surveillance cameras online. In my previous life, when Megan first came to work in our home as a housekeeper, I had wanted to install cameras, but Daniel felt it would be disrespectful to someone living under our roof. Thinking back on it now, it was precisely because of our kindness that we had walked step by step into her trap. The question that had plagued me, the one I couldn't grasp even as I died, suddenly returned, despite all my careful preparations. How could the child she was carrying be Daniel's? After we got married, Daniel and I started trying for a baby, but no matter how long we tried, I never got pregnant. It was only after going to the hospital for tests that we learned he had a zoospermia. The doctor had been blunt. Daniel could not have children at all. Even IVF had no chance of success. He felt deeply guilty toward me and wanted a divorce.